Training points. Let's talk about it. Now, this is going to be mainly for the new players. This is kind of the beginner's guide to training points. But if you've spent yours already and you feel like you spent them wrong, this video is also for you. Make sure you stick around to the end because I'm going to explain some of the actual spell cards and where to get them that you're going to actually want to train. And right now, this is especially good. This video is going up the same day I'm recording this. So, if you go over to Mr. Lincoln and you talk, he is the registrar. If you go and talk to him, he will actually give you the option to buy back all of your training points. Spend crowns to buy back all of your training points and return all of the spells obtained with those training points. You can then reuse your training points as desired. I believe this is only going to give back the ones that you've actually spent. All right, your main school is all free spells, so you're not actually spending any crowns. And right now, it is actually free. There's a little special event going on, so keep an eye out for that. When these events go on, it's the perfect time to go back and like, okay, let's rebuild our character. So what is training points? So if we head over here to our character menu, we can see here we have training points, and we have 4 of them, and we're level 12. These training points are used to buy other spell cards from other schools. Now, each of these spells are going to cost 1 point no matter what, I believe. I don't think there's any spell that actually costs more. But in order to buy them, you're going to have to go in order down the road. So honestly, why not? Let's just do it. So now those spells are going to be in our deck. So we go over to our spell deck. You can see some of them got added in already. But they will be under the storm shelf here. But I don't want those spells. And buy them back. Cool. And see, we still keep our fire spells. We just got rid of the storm ones. So that's nice. So at current max level of level 170, a wizard can acquire a total of 71 training points. 37 of the training points are going to be coming from training quest, and 34 of the training points are going to come from achieving the max level. So every 4 levels you get, you're going to get 1 training level. That's until you reach level 20. After level 20, it's going to be every 5 levels you'll get a training point. Okay, so we talked about how you can get 34 training points naturally, but there's that 37 training points from training quests. Now, I'm not going to go over every individual training quest. You're just going to be able to find them throughout the way. I'll leave a link down to the description below. Final Bastion. They kind of map out all of the training spots for you. So if you want to do that, that's a great one. But here is Prospector Zeke, and he gives you 21 training points, okay? You're going to be finding this guy all over the spiral. He's going to be giving you quests. You complete his quest, and you'll get a training point. Now, these quests are going to be side quests. He's given us the quest to find the smiths. And if you look down here below, you're going to see the reward for this. You're going to get 76 gold, 355 experience, and 1 training point. It's basically an Easter egg hunt. Now, all over Wizard City, you're going to be finding these hidden little smiths. You have one here in Golem Court, the Commons, Ravenwood, Shopping District, Unicorn Way, Old Town, Cyclops Lane, Triton Avenue, Fire Cat Alley, Colossus Boulevard, and right back to Golem Court again. Now, side quests you do not have to do. You can skip this altogether. You don't need it to actually progress in the main storyline. But having an extra training point will give you the ability to get an extra card, and so that always helps. We're going to decline that for now because I want to do a specific video and showing you where all of the smiths are, and for every Prospector Zeke Easter egg hunt, I want to do that. But like I said, if you just head right over here in the Commons, you will see your smith, and that's all you got to do. You're going to go find these guys. They're going to be hidden, little small guys hidden all around the spiral, which is pretty cool. So that's just one way to get those training points other than just leveling. Now, as you can see here, depending on what school you are, you're going to see that you're getting these spells for free. And so the only way to actually unlock them is by getting the level. These cards will be locked out to you no matter what until you reach that level 16. And that goes for every school. So you can't just use the training points on any spell It has to be in your level. Now, back in my day, I used to think that when you became a wizard, right, and you had these training points, they were given to you so that you can learn a second school, right? So, in my head, fire is weak to ice, right? As ice is weak to fire. I don't know if that's 100% true. I'll have to look more into that. Back when I first started, I decided, okay, well, if I'm going to be a fire character, I'm going to start learning ice spells too. So I was like a fire and ice character. And that that wasn't so great for me. Now, I currently don't have access to this right now. It's probably because I don't have access to the actual school pips yet. I'm not sure if it's a certain level. I do know there's a way we can increase our chances at it pretty early on, so we could take a look at that and maybe see if we can get it early. But if we head over here to the icon dictionary, and you can see right here, you have the balance pip, fire pip, life pip, storm pip, death pip, ice pip, and myth pip, right? And now you have the ability to actually control which one you're doing. So each spell, if we look here on our actual spell deck, you can see here in the corner there's a 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. All right, these are the pip costs. Each round you're going to be getting 1 pip. But if you get a school pip, then that adds up to 2. So now you're saving time and being able to actually play this Sunbird here, right? If you can get to the 3 pips faster, you don't have to wait 3 turns. We can skip that. There's ways to increase it. As you can see here, we have the power pip chance. That power pip is going to be a double pip for any school. But if we can get into the arcane mastering, that's going to be the actual school pips. Why am I bringing pips up when we're talking about training points? Well, seeing that we can actually just switch to whatever school we want for those pips, that kind of leaves the option of maybe, okay, the Ice Wizard is basically the tank of the game. So if we wanted to take the ability of the tank, we become an Ice Wizard. But then maybe we wanted to start learning strong spells from Storm. We could just do that and have better accuracy. So maybe there's a way we can actually combine wizards now to make them stronger. I don't know, it's an option. I'm not sure how that affects early gameplay, but I do see a lot of max level wizards in PvP and in raids doing this, where they will be a death wizard doing ice spells or whatever. So it's just something to think about. Now let's talk about a few spells you're going to want. Even if you're not an ice wizard, you're going to want this spell, and that is Tower Shield. So at level 16, we'll get the ability to come over here and train up this Tower Shield. Now, Tower Shield is going to give you a defense. It's going to be a negative 50% to any oncoming attack. And if you want to be a butthole, you can learn all the way up to Earthquake. You'll get this at level 42. Okay, so that's going to cost you quite a bit of training points. Not only is this going to damage your opponent, but it's going to remove all of their blades and defenses. So any trap cards they have on them, it sucks. Now, how far you want to learn is really up to you. We do have this legendary shield here. That's a negative 70% for death and myth. But what you're going to want to do is start getting these health spells from here. Sprite is a really good one. That's going to give you health over time. You do have the Spirit Armor, which is going to give you a 400 defense. But the one everybody always comes for is the Satyr. That's at level 26. That's going to cost you 8 training points here. And this is going to give you 860 health, which you could use on yourself. You can use on your friends or whoever you're playing with. If they're starting to lose a lot of health in battle, you could heal them. So these are always good to have on you, especially if you're running solo. Now let's talk about death. Now we could have went and talked to Malone, but Malone doesn't have the knowledge for the extra spells. If you head over here underneath this waterfall, it's going to get loud. Here is the death school. Now the death school used to be connected up there to Ravenwood, but you know, lore happened and it fell. We'll talk about that later. If you come inside and talk to Dworgen, you are going to be able to get the ability to get Dream Shield here, which is negative 70% to life and myth, so that's always good. But the one spell that you're going to want from here, and everybody's going to need it, is Faint, which It looks like you can't use during PvP either anymore. Ah, PvP people. Well, this feint is it's a double-edged sword. It's a good and a bad. All right, you're gonna get 70% attack boost to your spell, so you can put this on whatever the strongest enemy is. You can put it on him, and the next time you go to hit, whatever spell you cast, hopefully the strong one, is gonna get a 70% increase, and so that's always good. Now the sword part of this, you're gonna get 30% put onto you for your enemy to use against you. And that's just death for you. All right, they love the pain. Now, before I go show you a few more spells that you definitely need to have, I just want to talk to you about the strategy behind using these spells. So we talked about getting the tower shield, right? That's an ice spell, right? We're fire. So in order to get that spell faster, and if we have the ability to do it here, we can switch our pip chance to ice. You can do this in mid-battle. So right before you cast your spells, switch your pip chance to School of Ice, and the next round, hopefully, it depends on your percent chance, you'll start getting ice pips. So say we have our school pips, we switch to ice, okay, we attached our tower shield, okay, now let's switch to death so we can get that feint faster. And now we're getting that feint, let's switch back to fire and use our sunbird here to cast. And so there's a little bit of strategy here. I'll have to do a deeper dive into power pips, archmaster rating, and the school pips rating. So I'll look more into this, and when I can learn, I will teach you. Now, before we get back to the spells, over here at this jewel shop in the shopping district, let's head in. They sell this cracked archmastery opal, which will give you 1% rating. I'm not quite sure how early you can get this. I'm level 12. I don't have enough money, but you can get this right here, which will give you a percentage chance at the archmastery rating. So early on, I think we can actually get access to school pips. Now this is a square jewel, so we'll have to look and see what gear we can actually use to attach it. Whenever you have questions like this, you head to the bazaar. I'm going to start by looking at decks. As you can see here, we have to actually be level 20 to get a fire deck. But you can see it does have a square socket on it, so we're in the right space. Now we can go strictly by level, and at level 5 we can get this one. Now, is there any one that actually gives a square jewel? Okay, so here we have one deck, and at level 15 we actually get access to this, and so that has a square socket. So at level 15 we can train until we get to level 15 and save up our gold, and once we get that, we can buy this and buy the jewel, and we'll have access to school pips. Okay, I'm over here on the rings, and I haven't oh, right here we have a square jewel, and that is at level 20 for fire. So this is going to give us an added bonus for fire, but we won't get that square jewel until here. And same for any other jewels like the tiers and the circles, we won't get till level 15. But honestly, if we can get an extra point in here at level 20, that'd be good. Well, that's enough of that one. We're going to have to travel for this one, so let's head over to Colossus Boulevard. This spell is a must-have, especially when you are questing by yourself. So if you head over to Colossus Boulevard, take a right, hit this tree, it'll teleport you here to the center. And if you come straight down here, we should have access to this store. What we need is reshuffle. Reshuffle allows you to take all your cards in your deck, anything that's been discarded or used already, bring it all back together, reshuffle it back up, and basically you're starting the round over with fresh cards. Okay, this is going to be the final place I show you. We're going to actually have to travel to Crocotopia for this. Now, I currently don't have access to the area because I haven't played Crocotopia, but the sergeant back there will give you a quest, and eventually he will give you permission to travel by boat over there, and they will be giving you a spell. I'll show you on my other character real quick. Alright, and you're going to come over here and talk to Niles. And right now, I actually already have him. He also does sell you crafting recipes for training cards, so that's a good option here. But the one card you're going to want is going to be these spirit blades. You have the spirit blade, spirit trap, and elemental blade. Now, I wasn't going to talk about this, but you're going to want to save your training points for this. Once you have the ability to get to Celestia, and I believe you have to be level 52 for this, you get access to the Star, Moon, and Sun School. We head over here to our spell deck and head to our Astral spells. You can see all the spells I've already learned. You can see here the symbol for the Star School. We have a 20% critical rating for 4 rounds. This is like a bubble that stays with you. Same over here with the Amplify. You'll get actually a 25% strength to all of your spells for 4 rounds. And over here is actually a spell that increases your attack of your monster hit. Now, all this is probably a lot of information, and hopefully you made it to the end of this where I can tell you that all you need to do is think about what you want. Spend your points wisely. As you can see here, I already bought mine, but this cost me 8 training points to get to my satyr, while the tower shield only cost me 5, I believe. And so it'll be smart for me to go for tower shield before I try to go for satyr. Then again, you will be getting spirit blade through the school. You'll be getting sprite. So on your way to building this up to get to your satyr, you're actually unlocking quite a few spells as well. So you really just got to think, which one do I need first? Which one should I go? I hope I taught you something today. If anything, I've given you something to think about, especially with just like, how do you want to build your character? But thank you. I think we've opened a door for a lot more questions on how the PIP system works and how PvP works. So I'll have to look into that, and I'll see you guys in Wiz.